Things, stuffs, and a tavern.
Things, stuffs, and a tavern. Best
Yep.
video name.
So what are you gonna name your tavern?
I haven't thought of a name. I will think during the session.
The Wild Magic Table.
Rasho's Lodge. Do it. Name it after Roshar you know you want to.
Cotifsney.
Alright. Lavender's there. I don't know what they have assigned her to do, but she's doing her norm of just watching them.
Staring, making sure they don't cause any havoc.
Yeah. And being very uncomfortable for Ginbar. She's doing what she needs to.
I'll say, presuming you guys have actually... Oh, well, I don't know, are you guys staying in the inn? Or renting out another inn during your time, or...?
I'm squatting at Piscaya's.
Ah, yes, you're
Lavender
doing
would make one of the rooms her own without asking.
Toby is presumably trying to get the sauciest of tarts.
Alright. I shall be right back.
Rip.
Ripperoni, Rayeroni. But no, I was going to say, the rest of your downtime goes by pretty quickly. Nothing much seems to happen necessarily during the next few days. The gnome manages to get the tavern up and running, and then gets to be a fair amount of business in the tavern. You can see once it's repaired, start to get some patrons. Most of them seem to be either guild members, adventurers, mages. Seems to be a fairly rough crowd. Say, would anybody be, or what would people be doing during the nights that they aren't, doing what they're doing during the day?
Drinking. Gambling.
Probably
Eating.
hanging out at the tavern, yeah. Helping keeping an eye on things and people.
Oh, fair.
Unless the owner kicks me out.
Not just yet, but probably at one point.
I mean, I'm sure Pisciara's got some work she can be doing during the downtime.
Good, because you're banned from this place.
Well, fuck you too.
You're banned already.
Fuck you too. I think I might just dispel that third floor.
I told you, if you spend an action to cast a spell anywhere inside, use a full round action to pew you.
The question is, who wins?
Well, he's targeting the building, so his life is forfeit.
I'll say as time goes on, you get some interesting people in the tavern, and one night, in fact, it seems as though a pair of sorcerers are actually getting into quite a heated dispute. People seem to have, started paying attention to them, and it seems as though, focuses and materials are being prepared. Hands are starting to be waved about.
I should probably grab my character sheet. Sorry.
I'll say I'm presuming everyone who is or who would be in the tavern is in the tavern. So how would you guys respond to seeing, these proverbial fists being raised, a bar fight starting in your newly bought tavern?
I'm probably joining in, to be honest.
Fuck it,
I'm
yeah.
checking
Just
if
blow
I
the
have
place up.
anything that doesn't, like, destroy or maim people, but I am a combat mage.
I'm a halfling. I'm not maiming anybody in a bar fight, other than maybe their shoes.
Maybe their shins.
Toby's just tying their shoelaces together.
It's a good trick.
Let's see. What does that spell do in this edition?
But now you can see everyone else is kind of, backing away slowly. You can feel magical energies,
The jewel arena's out the back, right?
Yes.
It's not inside the actual building, is it?
Oh no, it's part of the building, but it is to the back of the building. It is, Oh, Drake goes back onto this map. Woo.
Glorious, glorious map.
Correction, Minton's doodling.
Yeah,
That's what I
glorious
said.
map.
It's a ray. Yeah, those are the stairs which go up. Bars here, the kitchen is back this way. And then the dueling arena is there is a door into the dueling arena here, and the main door is. And there's lots of tables, and then there was a stage in that. Yeah. I was going to say, there is the dueling arena, though. It seems like these mages are, or sorcerers even, are wanting to throw down right here, right now, rather than take it to an arena.
Where's fucking Kraug when you need him?
Did you find the spell you were looking
Yeah, it doesn't do what I wanted it to do.
What spell was it?
I was wondering if prestidigitation could help me get my voice to be booming or something like that. But
Is
no,
that Thaumaturgy or whatever it's called?
at least in 5e it is.
Sorry.
But I was hoping it might be the spell I have in this edition.
No.
Alright, I will walk over and slam my hands on the desk and say, alright lads, you know the rules. Dueling is done in the arena. If you want any fights in there, head on that way.
Wait. Who's fighting?
Two random
Patrons.
patrons.
Lavender would walk over and grab them by the scruffs of their necks.
Okay.
Okay, you grab them by the scruff of the neck. You can see they're quite disgruntled by this. They both seem quite normal. It's like, what are you doing?
If
Looks
you want...
over at
Go ahead.
Garthon and just kind of shrugs at him and face towards the door.
Put them down
And she shrugs again and puts him down. Gives them the stink eye. Goes back to her post.
I like that there's a road with white lines for modern traffic.
Someone decided to draw those lines.
I
think
think
it
it
was
was
Umbra.
Umbra.
Yeah.
What a fucking marvel.
Yeah, you can see the one who voiced his displeasure sort of disgruntledly goes and straightens up his robes, makes sure they're nice and neat before looking at the other one and going, settle this in the arena? The other one seems also mildly irritated at being manhandled, but doesn't seem to voice his irritation. Nods and they both head towards the dueling range at the back.
I'm gonna
Any
grab
damage to my
whatever
building?
equivalent of popcorn is and go watch.
Any damage to my building comes out of your.
I was going to say, you can see the moment they start to make their way towards the door, some of the patrons are already placing bets on who's going to win and who's going to lose.
Oh, man, we could have a little money-making event going on back here.
I'm sure Muse would be making some of those bets, but
Mhm.
she's not here, so.
Do they look evenly matched?
They look fairly evenly matched, yeah.
To my sorcerer eye, do they look evenly matched?
Can I have a spellcraft check?
One's a level 1, one's like a level 20 with mythic ranks.
Skills. Meh.
They seem fairly even. The one who voiced his displeasure seems to be slightly more powerful, though.
And compared to me?
Compared to you you reckon you could probably take like 5 of them on at once.
Okay.
They look to be
So I'm just
maybe half as strong.
I'm just gonna watch, just make sure that they're not doing anything dangerous for the people around, but mostly just relaxed and enjoying the show. I'd be more scared if they were like my power level or higher.
Now they seem fairly tame.
This is the kind of thing where I would get quite a lot of enjoyment out of just continuously dispelling anything they tried to cast.
I think you'd have a lot of other pissed off patrons in here that are making bets.
You do see they both go and take their various sides on the different edge of the dueling range. One of the patrons seems to be a quite old dwarf, long beard, pretty much goes down to his knees. Has taken on the role of mediator. So it seems. Alright, whenever you're on the sound of me saying go, start to sling your spells. He says, seems fairly getting into it. You can see he's also had quite a bit to drink. His nose is quite red. With an abrupt go, he says and quickly gets back out of the way as
Smart man.
the vocal mage seems to almost jump the gun and casts a fireball a lot quicker than you'd expect someone to be able to. You can see sort of.
Can I spellcraft that?
Yep.
I'm not kind of sad I'm not there.
You're aware of some methods of being able to quicken spell casting. You know it generally is a lot harder to cast spells without spending as much time on the somatic and verbal components, but it's doable. Just a lot harder.
Yeah, and it basically sucks for sorcerers to do it.
Yep. You can see this guy very quickly just lobs a fireball. It seems like, quite not dirty to lob it right at the start, but he doesn't seem to have any real style or grace when doing it. As the fireball flies down the dueling range and then is reflected back into his face. And he promptly gets ignited.
Nothing that seems like it could spill out of the fighting arena, right?
Nah, it all seems to be contained in the range, but the other sorcerers just kind of stood there wondering why his spell, was reflected back at him. It does seem like the first sorcerer is out of it on the floor, though. So the dwarf, quite confused, says, "I guess we have a winner." Sort of looks confusedly between the sorcerer on.
How does the sorcerer still standing up look?
Confused.
So he just stood there and did nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
God damn it, has this tavern got something else on it?
Any clue as to what could have caused the spell to bounce back like that?
You think you might have felt the magical wards on the dueling arena to do something whenever the fireball was in flight? There are wards that are, designed to, make sure that any magic cast here doesn't destroy the entire tavern, but, normally they don't reflect spells back at their casters.
Is it because he cheated and jumped the gun?
I don't know, you might want Piscaya to take a closer look at those spells, or she might know someone who knows them better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for now we're gonna decommission the arena for spellcasters. It's probably safer. Can I check on the mage that got his fireball reflected at him?
Yeah, you can see he's passed out on the ground. He looks like he took it right to the chest. You can see his hair's singed. He doesn't have any eyebrows.
Does he look in mortal danger or not?
Not that mortal. It seems as though the arena's got some enchantments to, stop any potentially fatal wounds happening. Though it still seems like it would hurt a fair amount.
Any healer around?
Yeah, I'll cast Cure Light Wounds on him.
I think his wounds are more than light.
So?
So you can see he you can see he kind of rouses up from his unconsciousness about, what the hell happened there?
We're not sure. We'll have it looked at.
some kind of joke. Is this thing rigged or something? You can see his glaring daggers between you two.
You know, this place has a lot of side effects. Apparently, so does the arena. We'll have it looked at. Come on, I'll pay you a drink. You've got some potential.
You can see he stops grumbling at the prospect of having a drink bought for him.
And this is how we extort our own party members. Put money in my pocket, Mia.
Hey, I'm avoiding him calling you a scammer, okay?
But the question is, what do you buy him?
I was going to say, as you're walking away, I'd say, make sure it's the most expensive.
I'll get him a beer.
I'll say the tavern sells
Beer, ale, whatever. Just
beer, ale. There is just one question which remains to Hobbit, or Gothon even.
God.
Did you sell stuff from the tap?
Not the tap that does many, many different things, no.
Okay, not that tap. I just had to check whether you were offering that to your patrons or not.
Not just yet. Let's find out what it actually does. And if it's fun things, then yes. May put them some in vials and say, drink at your own risk. 5 gold each. Potentially fatal.
Potentially fatal 5 gold each.
No, I'll run some more tests on these before I hand it to the public.
More
So,
tests on Muse.
I mean, Muse is a willing test subject. She's proven that.
Yep.
So, what was your fight all about? I asked the sorcerer.
Yeah. Was saying the power of his blood was better than the power of mine. No, you know. It's obviously wrong. Abyssal is obviously better than Infernal.
I mean, it's different. It doesn't necessarily mean better one way or another.
You can see sort of huffs up, obviously taking offense at that.
I'm elemental myself. There are things I can do that you can't, and there are things you can do that I can't. I don't cast spells as a swift action like you do. It's pretty impressive.
You can see sort of almost seems to clam up when you mention that. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I just smile and have my own drink.
Rip pray again. I'll say, what's everyone else doing during the I'll say, would Pescaria have been there?
Well, it seems like I'm not welcome, so probably not.
I'm sure everyone's just joshing, probably.
Yes, you're welcome.
In more seriousness, Pescaria is probably either taking some notes down, summarizing what we did in the Feywild, or has got some work she needs to be doing. So unless she's called for, she's probably not at the tavern.
Gets offended that isn't allowed at tavern. Isn't at tavern anyway.
I mean, this is me we're talking about. When have any of my characters been the tavern-going type?
I swear there was one.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, that was,
it's
that
Kai.
was. I mean, it was also Harith after he made a deal with the literal god of chaos.
True.
But okay, so Piscaria is not there.
Unless you need her, she won't be.
We'll probably. Well, I'll probably mention what happened when I get back at yours. Because you're probably better at looking at what could be wrong with the arena than me.
I say, other than that, the night seemed to go by, fairly peacefully. There's still a couple of incidents, but they're all settled in the tavern. And sometimes people's spells come flying back at their faces. Sometimes they go and hit their target. Seems that some spells are able to go through or aren't reflected back.
Is it like based on the power of the spell, or does it seem completely random?
Can I have a spellcraft check?
I'm rolling so average.
After seeing a fair amount happened, it seems as though when the caster is really pronounced and almost flamboyant with their verbal and somatic components, the spell goes through.
I know you did say about that last session, that everything
Right.
went way.
Right, I remember that.
I'll put a
That's it.
sign on the door saying use at own risk. When in use, you must follow these set rules.
What are the rules?
Being as you're spectated by other patrons, everything must be performed flamboyantly and with extent. Otherwise, your spells may fail or come back at you. Be warned.
So making it seem like it's intentional.
Yeah, it's part of the show. Just gonna start covering this place in little signs saying use at own risk, warning here.
Warning, warning, warning.
We decline any responsibility.
Yep.
Please
Little
keep
tags
your
on the
hand-
keys saying work in any room, but we'll go to yours.
Please keep your hands and legs inside the tavern at all times.
Third floor is out of bounds.
Woo. Yeah. Apart from that, not that much happens. You guys pardon me, are approached towards the end though by a member of the Arcadian Bureau for Interdimensional Travel, though, who requests if they would be able to speak with you.
With me?
With the entire group.
we can send word for Piscaria. We've been here long enough that I would know how to find a messenger or something like that, right?
Yeah, you would. And also, the messenger that's delivered you this message does say the person wants to meet you at the Central Bureau.
When and what is it about?
It's you can see this messenger seems fairly not in the know that much, but it says it is something to do with your difficulties when you arrived in the country.
Hmm.
Are we required to attend, or are they requesting our presence?
And when?
The when is tomorrow at 3 p.m. and they are quote unquote requesting, which is
Should be fine for me, you guys? Anyone has anything planned?
What
I'm gonna be on my
day would this
bathroom.
technically out of 20?
this is like day 18.
Okay, so this is after I'm done with the crafting.
Yeah, this is sometime after crafting.
I mean, if nobody else has shit to do,
Nope.
I'm good to go.
Sure, I'll attend.
But you rock up the next day at the bureau. You can see it's fairly busy. Many people are making their way in and out, and there seems to be a fairly large queue at the desk. People which seem to be fairly annoyed. You can see at this point there's 5 people on the desk. All of the seats seems to be filled, and they're all arguing with the various different complainees.
oh dear.
Eventually making your way up to the front, you can hear what seems to be an exasperated elf say, "Next," and motion for you guys to move towards her. Well, what can I help you with today?
I look at Piscaria, since she's the one who works here.
I mean, you were the one that got the letter, right?
I would have
Yes,
just been
I mean-
delivered to the tavern, so
Yeah. No. No is the one that got the letter, not me.
Well, we as a group were the ones who got the letter. I'm just the only one who actually replied to the guy who delivered it.
And do I know who is it that's requesting us at the bureau? Is it my boss?
It seems to be someone your boss works with in your department, but different to your boss.
Do I know him?
No.
Surprising. Okay. Yes.
I'll say yours is does actually work on the majoring. His is just general interdimensional transport, specifically health and safety hazards, mishaps, that kind of.
Oh, so he's dimensional affairs.
Yeah, he's dimensional affairs.
Okay.
You
What's
you
his name?
handled them. Rothelian.
Yes, I'm just gonna Rothilian.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just gonna say. Okay.
Rothelian Krisnor. Full name.
Yes, I'm gonna say then. We were requested at this time by Rothilian Krisnor from Interdimensional Affairs. He said he wanted an appointment with this group, but I don't quite remember the way to his office. Would you be so kind?
I see. Yes. It's on the 12th floor, third on the left.
Thank you. We'll get out of your way. You're doing a good job. And I'm going to lead the group up to the 12th floor.
Is this place always that crazy?
This is a light day. We've had worse. The worst time was when the majoring shorted out for a couple of hours, and you would not believe the length of the line of people that couldn't wait until 5 o'clock rather than 3 o'clock to head back to Kaltasani.
It is
It's not a fun
pretty
day.
close. It's pretty close to that though. It's the queue is pretty much out the door.
I'm playing it down, okay?
I would sense motive, but I would fail, so I believe you.
Also, from Piscaria's point of view, she will have been front of house while that was going on, so for her it was worse to deal with a line about this size than just walking in and seeing it. Having been public facing, it is worse to deal with a line of pissed off customers than see the line of pissed off customers.
What are you on about? Irritated people are perfectly rational human beings.
There is no such thing.
I say, having never worked a day of customer service in my life.
Anyway, I'm going to lead the group up to the 12th floor.
Fair. You make your way to a teleportation circle, and
Because of course we teleport between every floor.
yeah. When you can even announce which floor you're going to, and it changes.
Oh, it's a magical elevator, okay.
I was going to say, why take the stairs when you can take the lift?
But do we have proficiency in urban transport?
Roll use magical device, but nah.
Only Mano has that.
Indeed.
Wait, did the British man just say elevator? Success. Okay, back to what you're doing.
Because it's not called a lift. You have elevators and escalators.
I can't disagree with you there. Elevator actually makes more sense than lift, because it also goes down.
Well, elevate literally means
Lift.
lift, yeah. Like going,
Still.
Well,
putting
raise.
something, yeah, raise, that's it. Going up. It's
Yeah.
not a
And so
escalator.
Minton,
I like to
So
call them
how
the
many
up and down drop box.
how many floors does this building have? Because from what you said, Interdimensional Affairs is on the 13th floor.
12th floor.
Ground floor, 1 through 12, 13th. Every building starts with ground. Or is it in the basement?
Now you see, you're using Imperial floor systems there. This
Please
is
tell me you're not
Arcadian
using the
floor
American.
This is Arcadian floor systems.
Please tell me the Arcadians don't use the American system.
I mean, the building also only seemed to be like 3 stories from the outside.
I mean,
Oh,
why
okay,
would
it's a
you use that
TARDIS.
system? It's the correct one.
Okay, it's a TARDIS. Bigger on the inside. So, we head up to that floor anyway.
Yep, you arrive with a fairly audible pop as you arrive in the circle, and you can see a fair amount of elves, humans, gnomes, all wearing robes, running around carrying stacks of paper, books, scrolls, quill and ink. They all seem to be in disarray.
Are they yelling about anything, or is this department normally this chaotic?
No, this department is normally not this chaotic.
Are they talking about anything, working in silence? What's going on?
Most of them just seem to be running around. There's some of them are like, have you found any more leads? Is it sorted? Has there been any more occurrences?
I'm going to stop one of them and ask what's going on.
They say, who are you? I'm too busy right now. I'm sorry. And
What's my department called?
Department of International Majoring Affairs.
Piscaria, Majoring Affairs.
A load of planar portals opened up and then closed. All of them closed everywhere, and then all of them opened up everywhere.
Any particular plane? Every plane? Anything to do with the ring network?
Maybe something to do with the network. It was linked portals.
Can I make a knowledge planes?
Yeah.
Or Arcana? Fuck it, the same modifier. That's a 47.
You're aware of in the case of some teleports, it's generally quicker to basically plane shift to another plane and then plane shift back to the normal plane. It's fundamentally how the majorings work. However, along with the majorings, there are naturally forming tunnels, so to speak. You never actually set foot on the other plane, but effectively they're man-made majoring networks, or naturally forming majoring networks, so to speak.
So it's those that have gone haywire.
A bit. You'd know that basically these portals form as pairs. If you hop in one, you'll hop out the other. Though nobody really knows where the second one is. You have to be able to use triangulation magic of some description. Or jump in. But normally they don't exist for a massive amount of time, and there's normally like 10 sets of connected portals at once, not ones opening everywhere at the same time.
Am I going to need to pop down to my own department or just leave these guys to deal with it?
Aren't you curious to see what they're going to tell us?
It depends whether it's something to do with my job or not. Because if I've got something I need to do to help, then I need to do said thing. If I don't, this is player to DM. Do I need to hop down to my own department, or is this out of my area?
It's vaguely related to your own area, kind of. Your department might have something to do about it, but to be honest, you'd know, considering you guys were effectively summoned by this person. If something is going on in your own department, the person will probably refer you to your department. But
okay. So he'll know who I am and he'll send me down there if I'm needed.
Yeah, he'll know that this group has someone from Majoring Affairs with them.
Okay. So
But,
then I'm just gonna, if that's the case, I'm just gonna lead the group to the office we were told and thank the guy for the information.
yeah, he's run off before you can even thank him.
Okay. I'm just gonna lead the group to the third door on the left.
You give it a knock, hear a fairly angry, irritated voice call out, "Enter."
I give a bit of a grimace to the group and open the door and push Noor in first.
Hey.
Get fucked, son. I'm going to the loo quickly. I'll be back in a second.
Looking in the office, you can see it's a fairly lavishly decorated office. Extravagant colors, dark, looks almost like walnut desks. And you can see a fairly angry-looking tiefling going through a load of papers behind the desk. Yes, what do you want?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you. You wanted to see us.
You're the lot that was in the incident with the majoring the other day. Well, I'm not sure if you're aware of what's going on. I mean, hopefully you're not, but do you have any idea what's going on?
Brief summary from one of the people outside. Something about portals opening everywhere, closing everywhere, something with the naturally forming links. Do I need to pop downstairs, or are we okay? Majoring affairs.
Yes. You can see he kind of just blows you off a bit. No, anyway,
That was me asking him, hey, do you need me to go and do something? No? Okay, cool. Because I haven't dealt with this shit before.
Yes, it seems, I'm trying. Did you tell them about your encounter with Azayan?
I believe we said we told them about the fact that we ended up being plane shifted into the bubble.
No, this is when we arrived in Arcadia, where it was first teleported to the Hells, and then...
I think so, yeah. Well, I think so.
I seem to remember saying...
We said we ended up in the Badlands.
Yeah.
Before getting back here.
Oh shit, this is a follow-up to that story. Okay.
Yes, well, you were, you were in that incident the other day where you ended up somewhere else on the material plane, so I was wondering if you had any idea.
After a trip to the Abyss. Was it the Abyss or one of the Nine Hells? I don't remember.
Abyss.
Abyss, okay.
Sorry, I'm back.
Welcome back.
So I was wondering if you had any idea about what's caused this, considering you've been the center of any goings-on about interdimensional and teleportation, from what I've heard from other people in the Dimensional Affairs Bureau.
Oh, yes, that incident.
Isn't that part of the Ministry of Magic?
We're in Arcadia. This is the Ministry of Magic.
Minton,
Yes.
are you taking ideas from Harry Potter?
I mean, if I am, then it's subconscious from reading the books like 5 years ago.
They are good books.
Yeah. Not a fan of the movies, but good books.
Good boy.
Are they good books, Brent?
My face went in the Deathly Harrows, fucking Deathly Hallows. They don't mention the fact that Voldemort has the thing where if you say his name, they can track your location.
Oh, yeah, the taboo. I mean, I'm more upset about the whole Tom Riddle's body hit the floor with a mundane finality. Meanwhile, in the films.
Yep.
1v1 scrub.
Did you put your name in the cup, Harry? Dumbledore asked calmly.
Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? fucking.
And you know, peeves in general.
But I
I'm sorry,
apologize.
I'm sorry, but we did it. We bashed them. We potted the one, and Voldy's gone moldy. So now let's have fun.
That was
I-
Peeves, wasn't it?
That was peeves.
Yes, I do apologize for derailing my own session there for a bit. But
I blame Monkey.
if to be fair, if you
Blame Umbra.
yeah, blame Umbra. I mean, if you consider the Ministry of Magic's massive amounts of bureaucracy and times it by like 10, and then add it in a high fantasy setting, you kind of get Arcadia a bit.
I think of Arcadia as a Futurama with like the Bureau of Inspection and like do all that. Oh, her what's his name?
I could see that, yeah.
But is Big Arcadia watching you?
I mean, I haven't asked you guys to make any will saves yet. Whether that's because you auto fail them because you don't have a high enough will save, or because there are no will save, that's the real question.
So what it's saying is Arcadia is a dystopia. Got it.
Anyway, he looks and says, "I was wondering if you had anything to do with it."
I'm pretty sure we were the victims here.
Victims, instigators. There's a fair amount of similarities.
From what I've been told while traveling with this group, and from what I observed of the magical talents, something about one of the members who's no longer part of the group seemed to be what was drawing them to the Badlands. It's nothing this group could be capable of.
I see, he says, scribbling some things down on a piece of paper.
Either way, from what they've said, it seems like the issue is localized in the Badlands, and what they said, some rival or someone from the background of one of their members was involved in the Badlands, but I don't really understand the full picture. I don't know where that particular member is. Where is Sarab? We need her for this.
Sarab's wandered off. You've no idea where Sarab is.
That was an in character.
In character, you've no idea where Sarab is.
What a pity.
But yes, and this has nothing to do with you getting into that bubble the other day.
I don't see how it
think
could
so.
be. I was the one that forced us out of it with the teleportation, but we were plane shifted in there by a Fae, not by anything we did. So unless forcibly breaking out of it has caused all of these portals. Because, with all due respect, I was not spending the rest of my life trapped in there.
And you got out by your own means, not using any items. Nothing you found in the bubble.
Standard teleportation spell. Bulk standard, I assume that after previous attempts to teleport in had been deflected, the bubble itself was a ward designed to deflect, so if we could get trapped in it, it would default to pushing us out rather than trapping us in, and hypothesis was correct.
Are you suspecting there's something in this bubble? Is there something you know that we don't know?
Not sure whether it's in the bubble or not, but
When did this incident with all dimensional portals happen? How many days ago?
happened yesterday.
And yet we were involved with the incident with the bubble by my count 18 days standard time ago. It doesn't seem like they could be connected. Unless it's a
Oh,
slow
was that-
actor.
wondering if you'd brought anything out of the bubble. The few divination mages we have, as well as anyone who could formulate a hypothesis on this, says some kind of artifact caused it.
Did anyone bring anything out of the bubble? I know I didn't touch anything. I just read a few books in there.
Did we grab any of the books?
I believe we did take some books out.
We took some books. None of them
Books.
seemed to be artifacts, though.
Well, firstly, you should have informed us if you'd taken any books out. Secondly, didn't touch any items. Probably raked a magic. Big, maybe shiny, maybe not. I don't know, but probably not a book.
If memory serves, we tried to figure out what could be the source and decided that after the state we were in, after an encounter with some fae, we weren't going to go investigate, but I believe we think the artifact is a roughly center underground. But no, we didn't go anywhere near it. We stayed in the building we arrived in and then teleported out in the morning.
I see. It's suffice to say that something of this caliber seems more of someone messing about with an artifact than it's. I was making sure that you guys didn't have some magical artifact and were randomly pressing buttons on it or something.
I would look pointedly at me as if she was here, but she's not.
Believe me, if we had an artifact and wanted to mess around with it, I wouldn't be doing it in my home city. That's just asking to be murdered by internal affairs.
If death by paperwork sounds like your way of going, you can see he says with just a half laugh, half grimace.
I am also not a particular fan of the ring of bureaucracy either. Sorry, but I would have absolutely no reason to mess around with something magical and dangerous in my own country.
So let me get this straight. We use your teleportation system that is supposed to be super safe. We get teleported to the abyss, teleported to the Badland, lose a
I'm
member
still
of our
not entirely
group.
sure how it got hijacked.
We lose a member of our group. We finally get here. We get yelled at. We go and do some work for your government. We come back, figure out something that you guys have not been able to figure out for hundreds of years, as
Thousands.
in how to get to into your bubble, and then you
Thousands.
It was
convoke
hundreds.
us. And then you convoke us to accuse us of being responsible for everything that's going wrong with your system. I was hoping for an apology, not more accusations.
You can see he looks mildly hurt at this, but he also seems to just be trying to formulate a response. Quite flustered. There are regulations in place against making deals with Fae, and
Yes, well, you don't exactly have a choice in the Feywild when it's get the wood or potentially die because you have to go and fight some Iron Court. So,
it's I can't exactly issue an apology if you guys are the ones bringing the trouble to you.
this incident with the portal seems to be unrelated with the incident with the bubble since we were teleported inside 18 days ago. You would have thought that had a magical breach caused the defenses to fail, it would have been nigh immediate, not 18 days after. This is someone else, possibly related to the hijacking of the majoring network. This group isn't capable of, nor has the ability to produce the effects that you are so kindly suggesting they might be responsible for?
We gave you all the information we had. So, unless you have anything to tell us, I really don't see why we're here.
Well, as you just said, it was related to the previous hijacking incident, which you all admitted was related to one of your compatriots. So,
Well,
was
if you want to see who's the most likely to be responsible for this, you travel to the Badlands and go talk to that slaver, who is apparently some kind of warlock, right? If my memory of what Kai had told me about it was right.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Pascari got told.
Now, I'm asking how much Noah got told.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how much, because what Noah would have been told, Pascari probably would have heard as well, because it would have happened at the same time, but yeah.
I mean, I mean, Piscaria wasn't there.
Kai told me stuff about
Oh, true,
Azan.
true. I mean, Kai did tell you that he made some deal with some devils, but beyond that, didn't know very much because Kai left pretty much straight after.
Yeah, but I could, from that, infer warlock, right?
Yeah, you can
Works
infer
the
he's made a
same.
pact. Yeah.
Yeah, given that he seems to have had the power to mess with teleportation circles.
From what I told and from what I saw, considering I was working on the ring when the hijacking took place, considerable magical power probably related to at least a higher fiend. Expedition to the Badlands to find the source, probably not a bad idea. You're probably going to want the best mages in both of our departments, and from what are they touting themselves now? Because they didn't last long as the fire brigade. I think it's battle techniques they're calling themselves now. You know the ones that change their title every year when they come up with something creative to blow up.
Something like that. I think at the moment it's Department of Pyrotechnic Displays.
How dull.
But well, since you guys seem to be related in some way to this, perhaps you'd be of some use on an expedition to the Badlands.
I'm just going to turn and raise my eyebrows at no.
Depends on the timing of it.
So how's everyone else taking this? Lavender, Gorthon, Told.
Oh, Lavender's licking her lips, like, and smirking.
I don't know.
But Kobold is presumably just, not caring about the big
yeah,
words.
not too fussed, really.
Gorthon?
Yeah, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, you don't
Waiting
really
to
have
see
a
the
stake in our
outcome.
world
Yeah.
yet, apart from your tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, I nearly forgot. Lavender, I have something for you when we're done here. Don't let me forget.
Lavender kind of looks at her questionably, but nods.
But yes, If what you say is correct, then it makes sense to mount an expedition and see if we can deal with this. It doesn't make sense to have our infrastructure networks be ruined by some upstart slaver with a magical bauble.
Magical bauble from a fiend. A powerful one at that if he was able to hack into their network.
But anyway, if an expedition is to be mounted, what would you lot say to
Again, that depends on the timing. We do have another engagement that might take us a while. Depends on how long the expedition would be, too.
No, that's a
Where's
better
Muse
question.
when we need her?
Yeah. When would it be mounted? How long would said expedition last? There is something that half of our group has to do within a very set time frame.
expedition will be mounted as soon as the paperwork goes through?
Which means
Which, with our bureaucracy, this week, next year, in a century.
I'm sure pushing it through, it can be done by the end of the week. At this point, it's effectively a Tuesday. So get it pushed through for the weekend, and then head out at the start of the new week. As for how long it would last, that depends on how long it would take. I can't. If he is just some upstart slaver, I can't imagine it taking more than a month at most. Naturally, if you
Nora's kind
get
of
it,
gritting her teeth and, like, her fists are balling up, but she's not saying anything.
I can't.
Pascal just kind of taps Noah on the shoulder and just subtly shakes her head. A month is too long. Then again, we can. If we're going to assist with this expedition, hopefully I should be able to, with the assistance of majoring network affairs, pinpoint a better location. How about we define our maximum stay as 5 days of the expedition? If we haven't made significant progress by that point, we have to get on with our other affairs. We can't spend a whole month.
Can you roll me a diplomacy?
Shit.
This is why Muse does the talking.
I rolled a 4. Why the fuck I have 10 ranks in diplomacy, I will never know.
Because you didn't know what else to do with your ranks.
Because you're a fucking caster who has like 20 billion plus int mod.
Hey, one more bonus to my int, and I have the same amount of skill ranks as Toby.
Anyway, I'm not sure how much you'll be able to get done in 5 days.
I mean,
Unless
we
you...
got quite a bit done in the Feywild in one day. Our time. Oh, 1 day Fey time. You know how time network is there.
Yes, variable time and all that. I'm sure payment could be arranged if you spend longer than 5 days, but don't expect the pay to be only going to be around for 5 days. I can't imagine much more than a preliminary search of the Badlands will be done in that time. If given that it's a large place and
I know the place. I can help with that.
well, if you're able to locate this,
How much would I know of where Azin usually is? Or operates from?
And as a side question to that, would I have been able to trace anything? Would I be able to trace anything from the information I've got and the hijacking of the network?
I'll try to remember. Does Noah have any relation to Azan?
Yes, he killed my... well, him
Oh yeah, shit,
or
he did,
his
didn't
slavers killed my father.
You'd know at that point that was around it's around Mount Cragtooth in the south. But other than that,
Would I have been able to trace anything from the hijacking?
came from somewhere in the Badlands. So it's pretty good at covering the trail.
Not even with a spellcraft or a knowledge arcana?
I mean, you can roll me a spell or a knowledge arcana, but
48. Natural 20.
South Badlands maybe, but it's hard to trace, you know. Considering, yeah.
I would relate that last I knew, Azin and his group were operating in the south.
Which lines up with what I had. Well, seems fairly conclusive. South Badlands. That's where we start. If the rest of the group is okay going along with this.
Yeah.
We still have time. We have enough time. It should not take us a month to deal with this. Nor with a full expedition if pyrotechnic displays are as effective as they like to prance about in the canteen.
Marco?
Pardon?
Hello.
Sorry. What
Rip.
what was that?
That was me saying, the rest of the group is okay with it. It shouldn't take a month if pyrotechnic affairs are as good as they prance about in the canteen. Yes,
I
I'm
mean,
insulting the battle mages again.
they're capable of, you know, making bright lights. Whether they're actually capable, they're enough to hold up in the war games, which says a lot for them. I mean, that's all they're good at doing, but
War games with who? The Empire, or with, really who they're up against matters a lot more in that situation. But war games is probably important if what I've been told about this slaver is true.
it's suffice to say they're vaguely capable. If this slaver is made a deal with the devil, I'm sure they'll be able to hold off one slaver and whatever men he can round up.
One slaver with the entire region of the Badlands behind him, potentially.
There are a bunch of savages. How hard can it be?
Again with the gritting my teeth.
I think you'll find that this particular party has had a member and, well, had a member that came from there. That is from there right now. I don't think you want either of them to display how effective they can be. You underestimate them. Most of them aren't mundane. They've all got at least some of the blood.
Oh, my condolences.
Condolences for what?
Apologies even. But anyway, you're all accepting of this.
Gotham, Lavender.
Yeah, I feel like I've been taking out a lot of the speaking time. So, please others chime in too.
Gotham, any opinion?
Yeah. Let's do it. Sounds like fun. Be a
Well,
change of
Lavender will
pace.
go where I go.
Lavender is happy to go
For a
do
fight.
this. It's to get her out of Arcadia. She's like shaking her head, and she actually does
Lavender's
this
gonna
weird smile.
love the Badlands.
It has bad in the name.
Yeah.
That's where Kai came from. Lots of people to fight.
It's rough and dangerous.
And gets everywhere.
Does
Wait, no,
the,
that's sand.
does the Mos Eisley music play all the time? Like in the background? It really
For-
should.
So, are you saying, Minton, we can have another 5 days of downtime?
Yeah, basically he says, you... Is that relevant? Why is 5 days relevant? 5 days is relevant for something. I know that shit-eating laugh. I can hear the grin from here. I can
What are you
hear that
crafting this time?
I'm not entirely sure. Who wants a new magic item?
I'll have a magic item.
What
I'd
do you
love to,
want?
but I kind of used up most of my money for that Wand of Cure Wounds, so I'm
Hey,
broke.
Gorthon, what was it you were wanting again, and how much did it cost?
I brought a tavern. I don't have money.
Monkey
He
just
does
automatically
want-
has money.
I have a shit ton of money. Because I don't spend it.
You should probably do that.
I will at some point when I find something that I actually want.
I'll see. It basically, I have to work out if there's any other items other people want, because I'm saving up for a +1 imp book. Okay, does anyone not have a cloak? Does anyone not have a cloak or a ring?
I think I have 2 rings now.
I have, I think, both a cloak and a ring.
Um,
I definitely have a cloak. I'm not sure about a ring, actually.
yeah, I
I'll
have
look.
2 rings. And a cloak.
I have a cloak of loving kind and a ring of protection +3.
Okay, I can't help you there.
I have a ring of protection +3 as well.
And Lavender has a cloak and a ring. Okay, we're fine.
I mean, there's 2 ring slots.
Yeah, but I'd only be able to make a ring of protection or cloak of resistance. I'll see, but I will probably want to make...
My ring of protection
Something
is only
else.
+1.
Get you with your fucking pleb tier ring of protection.
Yep.
Get out of our party.
Anyway, I can't make rings.
Anyways,
Yes.
Yeah, so that is I will ask you what you do in those 5 or crafting those 5 days later, so that it doesn't take up,
Yeah.
Lavender will try to befriend the chef mimic.
handle me them animals.
Somebody roll for me. I just got home.
don't have access to your sheet, so can't.
Hobbit, do you?
I can't even see half of the people's sheets in the game.
Same.
I can only see Muse and Toby.
That's an 8.
The mimic hisses angrily when you approach it.
She will work in the side and try to show him how to make a cake.
It eats the spoon.
Just kills the spoon.
It
Done.
It eats the spoon and then throws the bowl against the bowl. Ah, I can't even fucking speak English. The bowl against the wall.
Piscaria, you had an item for.
Yes, I saw.
I will try every day.
Rolls to see how Mimic handles cake baking. Rolls nat 1. I understand.
If by the 5th day she does not befriend it, sends in a request to Gorthon to kill it.
Wait, what? What am I killing?
She wants to kill your chef, Mimic.
No,
No.
only if it doesn't befriend her in the next 5 days.
Roll me another 4 handle animals.
Okay, hold on. I will do it. Let me turn my computer on and I will do it. Just give me 2 minutes.
No, fuck you.
No!
No, she's allowed to roll.
Go on to somebody else. You'll see the rolls in just 2 minutes.
I'm
What?
tempted to tell the mimic not to be friends.
Damn it, I need to add bull strength to my spellbook. And...
But yeah, so what do people do during their 5 days of prep?
I don't have minor creation. I can't be bothered to learn it. Okay, I know what I want to make.
What do you want to make?
Gloves at swimming and climbing. Hey, Hobbit, give me 3k, boy. Base price is $62.50.
As long as you can do it within 5 days.
Piss easy.
So that's
And,
one extra.
Expect them to make like your nose become big or something like
that's
that.
4 total checks. Because it's 1 check for every 5k base price. So it's
Oh yeah, so it's
one for up to 5k, 1 for between 5 and 10. So 2 checks,
2 checks,
plus
yep.
create and finish. And I have a scroll of ball strength. I just hadn't added it to my spellbook yet.
Nice.
So I will go ahead and add that to my spellbook.
In the first day, the first thing you need to do when making a magic item is forging a vessel. Who wants to give me a craft check?
What are the 2 checks that you need for that one? Remind me.
Craft and spellcraft.
So I'll be the craft. Hey, no, baby, do you feel like doing the fucking spellcraft for me?
I can do that. Hopefully.
What cast level is the item?
5th.
You
That's
succeed
a
on
natural
both.
20 on my craft.
Too bad nat 20s don't auto-succeed.
Yeah, but that's also a total of 44.
Yeah, crit success. Base cost of the item is 75% and 1 day per 2,000. So it'll take you 4 days to make.
Okay.
That's 2 checks.
Yep.
The first day, or the first challenge, you find out that
Hey, it's better when she's rolling her, except for that last one.
second day the mimic doesn't like try and eat your spoon or be angry or hiss at you, but it doesn't seem to be extremely, happy. The next 2 days, the mimic is slightly nicer to you. On the third day, it actually helps you bake the cake. Oh shit, that's an Oh no, fucking that's a water wagon. That is a water wagon outside. Fucking, but shit, it's something on fire.
Wait, what?
A fucking water wagon with its blue lights just
Oh, a
went
fire
by.
truck.
Yeah. And on the final day, the mimic is just seems to be slightly ignoring you. However, with the magical items, you find that one of some of your components seem to resonate with each other when brought near each other. For this, you have 2 tasks: analyze the cause and follow the rhythm. Analyzing the cause is a spellcraft check. Following the rhythm is a perform check of any kind.
Ooh, I can
BRB
juggle.
finding Sarab sheet.
Sarab is
Finally.
MIA.
Oh,
You have no idea where Sarab is.
Finally, my juggling skills will come in
does
handy.
Toby actually have perform?
Toby has juggling, which is a perform.
How many ranks do you have in perform juggle?
10?
So you got a plus 10,
Oh, 5.
and it's a,
Sorry, I have a 5 and it's a plus 10. Yeah.
Are you going to attempt one
I'll
or both tasks?
it's a spellcraft and a
Perform.
right?
Yep.
I'll do my juggling.
I'm not sure how hard it's gonna be.
Yeah, well, if I fail, what's the worst that could happen?
Very bad things. Do we
what's
want to
the
play this
worst?
safe, or do we want to take the risk of it? It's kind of up to you. This could add time on and make it impossible to finish the item in time.
Well, then it'll just have to wait for another day. We'll live life to the fun. Toby, do the check.
Okay.
Leroy!
End of spellcraft.
There you go. I rolled a 15.
Decent juggling check.
Ooh.
25.
Come on, guys, live life on the edge.
Yeah.
Who said juggling was useless? Look, it helps you make magical items somehow.
No spellcraft, please.
Why
Oh,
do you think it's
your
been my dump
spellcraft
stat?
is probably better than mine.
Your
but
spellcraft is better than mine, I'm pretty sure.
my spellcraft is int.
Oh, well. Hey, you still rolled well, so we're good.
Juggling has been where I've been putting my spare skill points when I don't have anywhere else to put them.
Toby manages to juggle the components so well that is a critical success.
Oh, beautiful.
Minus 1 day and 1 perk.
Awesome.
You're fucking welcome, boys.
So that's now
Thank
going
you,
to take
Toby.
3 days instead of 4.
You okay?
Oh, sorry, I was hiccupping. You do find that the next step of the item requires you to fill the item with emotion. For this, in order to harness the powerful raw emotions needed to make this item, you will need to elicit the emotions through a performance, which is going to be a perform check, and also manipulate others, which will be a bluff check.
Oh, God.
Sarab is MIA.
So
My-
it's
Will you-
perform and bluff.
My bluff
Fuck.
is plus 14?
Will you be attempting one task or both tasks?
Should we do risk it, boys?
Well, the risk paid off last time. I'm inclined to say if it worked once, it can work again. That's how gambling works.
And that's how you
Sure.
get burned at gambling. Do
Tell me
it,
to-
why
tell me
not?
to
Let's
do
just
it.
have some fun with it.
Okay.
It's only 3k burned, if not.
What am I-
I rolled so bad.
What am I
Oh,
rolling?
dear.
Perform juggling again.
Don't worry, boys. I've been practicing.
It's a good assuming I have a plus 14 because that was a natural 2.
Give me a second.
It's still a 16. It's not too bad. I hope.
That is a critical failure.
Shit.
Get fucked, son.
I'm sorry. I'm not Muse.
The item will now take 6 days.
Is that
10% cost.
counting
Plus-
like the fact that we got reductions in the time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And 1 floor.
Well,
You did, however, have 1 extra day, so you will be able to get to the 6th day.
okay, good.
Uh,
And now we just have to complete the damn thing. It's got a
And
perk
that-
and a floor. Oh god. I'm sorry, Hobbit.
with that, you need to complete the item, which, putting the finishing touches, are improvising the final touches, as well as providing the requirement. Improvising the finishing touches is a use magical device check, and you need to have someone who meets the prerequisite of
Which
the
is?
item.
I meet the prereqs.
Give me a UMD check.
Yep.
I mean,
Someone.
do I?
No.
Yeah. Hi, this is a bad roll too.
That's a critical success. The
Yeah,
item
it's a bad
you
roll.
reduce the item's cost by 10%.
Bringing it to what, 65% cost total?
75.
Did we not get a cost reduction for the first critical success? Was it just a time reduction?
Resonance is Resonance is just a day in a park.
Okay.
And you got
so
plus 10 from your
Do
thing.
I have to take that much gold off? Cool.
And now, that's the perk. And now what's the floor? The item is inscribed.
Which does...
Does that? You can effectively inscribe hidden messages on it.
Okay, what's the floor?
That's what we're going to find out. I am not going to tell you what the floor is.
Wait, what?
I am not going to tell you what the floor is.
I guess Hobbit will find out.
Maybe.
Oh god, that's going to be bad.
I don't know, so what do you do with the gloves when you get them?
Are they all done and completed?
Yep.
I suppose the first
I
thing I
was
do
gonna-
is put them on.
Yeah, I was gonna say bless you,
Alright,
but you didn't
yo.
actually sneeze.
Unless if I'm
You-
told anything different.
I mean, you'd be told. Well, I mean, the creators would know something went wrong in the creation. Whether Hobbit's been told or whether Gawthorne's been told that or not is a.
Would I have known, given that I'm the one who failed the check?
You and Toby would both know that. Yeah, something went horribly wrong. There was some crackling. You know, the item went like a pale blue, and then sort of made like a wheezing noise.
Oh god, is it cursed?
I would let you know that they might be a bit off. We don't know.
Is there any checks I can perform before putting them on?
Is there any checks we can do before he puts them on?
No.
Any checks anyone can do?
Unfortunately not.
Why do I get the feeling it's cursed?
So, are you putting them on?
I will ask if they have been road tested by the guys that made them.
Nope.
Would you like to?
Not especially.
Yeah, we made them for you.
Screw it. I'll put them on. Why not?
You have a PM.
Why?
Please confirm understanding of the PM.
I understand.
You understand.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yep. Gloves are on.
Gloves are on.
Was that some kind of pun on the expression the gloves are off? Or you literally putting some gloves
I think
on?
it might be that he can't take them off.
Right. They're now welded to his hands. That's good though. Means he can't lose them.
I could take them off, but I don't want to.
You have to take off your hands as well. I can help.
Bear with me getting hatchet.
Draw my-
Oh dear.
Gorthon Lannister.
But yes. Apart from that, the time goes by. You guys manage to craft those items, and then on the Sunday you're delivered a message.
May I request a break soon?
Yes, I was actually just about to
Cool.
to say
Go on then.
Yeah, fucking hell. God.
request to meet them at the Majoring Network at 8 a.m. on Monday, so tomorrow.
Oh, right,
And,
what I think about it, Lavender. I have these for you, and I'm going to pass over your flight. If Ray's even here.
I'm here. She takes them and kind of looks them over really good, gives them a suspicious look.
They'll help you see in the dark.
She
As I know you're not naturally inclined to. They're two lenses that basically fit over your eyes, rather than an actual pair of goggles.
So like they're like, this is a clear question. These are like monocles?
The lenses of this item are made of violent crystal. So, violet, not violent. Jeez. Even though the lenses are opaque, when placed over the eyes of the wearer, they enable him to see normally and also grant him 60-foot dark vision. Both lenses must be worn for the magic to be effective.
So are they like contact lenses?
you know, like welder's goggles.
Do they kind of look like Toby's goggles?
Is there like official
Yeah.
art, like Pathfinder
Official
goggles on night?
No, they just look like, goggles.
Toby's
like-
wearing goggles at night.
Toby wears goggles at night. Think like steampunk goggles, but for night.
Okay.
Toby's goggles, they're pretty much always on his head.
When did you notice it start to hurt again?
What the fuck is that?
That's Ray.
I'm here, hold on.
I think
My
Ray's
husband
phone.
called on the phone.
I mean, this is the 5e version of Goggles of Night.
Whenever you want Discord, but I know what they look like, yeah. But I guess if
I'll say if you wanted to head off, and at this point, I guess it's a good chance to call it in case Sarab wants to do anything before you guys,
Sure.
head off. So I do apologize for finishing early again, but
That's right.
surprisingly having to go to a 9 a.m. lecture on Tuesday means, if I don't finish early, I'm dead tomorrow. So this is where we're going to call it.
Okay.
As always, I thank y'all for playing. If y'all have any feedback, feel free to, tell me what you think.
It was shit. Actually, I thought it was complete bollocks.
I wasn't expecting to go back to the Badlands quite so fast.
Worst DM 2K18.
I was
I
about to
don't-
say,
I
wait, it's
don't-
2018, but
I don't think Nora is psychologically ready, but
It's right. You'll be the worst DM next year as well.
Hobbit, check your PMs.
I will do shortly.
I mean, Monkey's the one playing the small character, not you.
well, he will do shortly.
Ha, shortly I get it.
Badums.
Okay,
You have 4
sorry.
more items to buy.
I didn't hear the explanation, and I don't. The image doesn't look like it's okay. Let me just.
They're a pair of goggles, basically, but
Oh,
they're dark.
oh,
Kind of steampunky.
I like them.
But they let
I
you see
like
in the
them.
dark.
They're night
Lavender
vision
kinda,
goggles.
yeah, she kind of sticks her nose up at them, but once she puts them on, she likes them.
Looks
It's
nice
not
on you.
quite as effective as natural dark vision, but you should be able to see for a decent distance even at night, though it will be black and white.
She gives
That would
her
be
a
the image.
slight nod of approval.
Ever so slight.
I know you've been frustrated running around in the dark without being able to see without a light source, so I thought I could do something about it for you.
She gives her a fist bump.
It could be worse, Gorthom. Your ears could have quintupled in size.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
That
Wait,
wasn't
what's
even
happened
the
to
flaw.
Gorthon?
We're not sure. Neither DM nor Hobbit will tell us.
Is Hobbit not telling you guys? Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, Hobbit. Yes.
It was a PM for a reason, right?
Yes. When that becomes irrelevant, it's going to be beautiful.
Wait, when? Oh, shit.
I mean, if. You never know.
If it's better than when. When?
You never know when you might drink camel's milk.
Is that an expression, or is that just a very random thing to say?
I mean, do you guys really want to know what it is?
Well, I think it's up to Hobbit to tell us if he wants to.
It's true.
I will be happy to let him decide whether or not he wants to say.
It does involve.
Willies.
I was going to say milk of a randomly determined animal, but
Oh my god, he's Luke Skywalker. Blue milk.
Yeah, but who's the cow in the equation? Swab?
Probably.
Isn't the new milk green milk out of those really weird creatures on the mountainside?
What?
You mean sheep?
No.
Those really weird creatures from
Have
that.
you not seen The Last Jedi?
I have, yeah.
No. I haven't seen any of the new fucking
Oh, well, good. I don't feel bad
You
about
should. You're
spoiling.
missing out.
They're not the
Yeah.
prequels.
Last Jedi was wank.
I
Last
haven't.
Jedi was wank, sorry.
I've heard The Last Jedi was a good movie, but a bad Star Wars movie.
It was wank.
Was it?
It
Well,
left
like-
some things to be desired. I agree, but Like the second movie
I
is
mean,
always
compared to the
terrible.
prequels,
Yeah,
it's
but
fucking
com-
great.
compared to the prequels, fucking The Room is a good movie. So
What's The Room?
it's like a cult classically hilariously bad movie.
Um,
Anyways, I'm gonna head off because it is past midnight for me, so I'm gonna take that opportunity to get some sleep.
Give
Alright.
garlic belly rubs from me.
Will
I'm
do.
also gonna head
Is
off.
your cat called Garlic? Sorry.
Dalek.
No,
dog.
Dalek,
Oh, Dalek.
Dalek is my dog. Dalek is my
Dalek.
dog. Yes. Yes, my dog is named Dalek.
Garlic.
No,
Dalek.
garlic. Dalek.
Sorry, your dog is now called Garlic.
Poor
Dalek
baby.
as in the tin cans.
Don't fight it.
It's Garlic.
now.
He's already a ridiculous enough fluffball.
Oh, Garlic.
Dalek is already a ridiculous enough fluffball. Don't do this to him.
I'm sorry, this is happening.
Thanks for this session.
Alright.
Have a good one.
See ya, guys. Garlic.
Okay, I will probably see you tomorrow for F1.